Hi folks, this is Tom from RocklandWeb. I want to thank you for taking a few moments to look at some of the materials I put together to help you and your business more effectively market yourselves on the web using some tried and true techniques that we've been using for over 12 years in our company. So let's get started right away. A little bit about me. You probably have seen me on a few different groups, the North Rockland Community Facebook group, the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce, the Highlands Community. Just some background that you may or may not know. I graduated Ramapo College in 2006, started our company a year later. In the mix over the last 10 years, I was involved in rebuilding not one, but two chambers of commerce in Rockland County, the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Highlands Chamber of Commerce. And I really, truly believe in local business. If you have good, viable, sustainable business within a community, it helps itself, and that way there's less dependency on outside entities. I'm one of several founders of a networking group called ProMetroNet. It's the second oldest networking group in Rockland County, behind the Rockland Business Exchange, of which I'm also a member. Also a member of the Workforce Development Board, the North Rockland Academy of Finance, and I wrote a book back in 2016 called How to Program Your Life, helping you to become a self-starter and developing your own personal digital routine while you're building your business. A little bit about RocklandWeb. We currently host and maintain about 150 websites on our Amazon Web Services, and we actively design and develop new websites and help people with their social media and their search engine presences. And to accomplish all of this, obviously, it's not just me. We have a team of 5 to 10 individuals that work on a flexible basis. We hand out projects and they get them done. They're fantastic. There's 2 that I've been working with for literally 12 years, so it's a great thing. All right, some of our established clients, we've built websites and developed web presences for Columbia University. It was a faculty drug treatment education website that we developed for them. We've also built websites and maintained web presences for the town of Stony Point, the North Rockland and Highlands Chamber of Commerce's, the Rose Memorial Library, Piermont Library. We do development still for engineering firms, law firms, online retailers, so we have a wide variety of clients, and we've learned a lot from each and every one of them. We learned different business models and ways of helping others to be more effective. Let's say, for instance, if a second engineering firm came to us, well, we know a bit of the business model from the original engineering firm. So today I'm going to talk with you about ACE web marketing tips and techniques. So ACE is what we call our internal web marketing system. And without going into too much detail, we have a team of 3 that are actively involved in posting social media all over the local community groups and local news feeds on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and several other sites that are niche, such as Pinterest. No Snapchat yet, so we're getting ramped up on that, but we find the posts to be effective. And basically what I'm going to show you here is the exact same methods that we employ in our ACE web marketing program, and you can start the moment you finish this, this video that I'm providing to you. So the way that we narrow it down, and just a quick story, I started my business about 13 years ago, give or take about a year, and it started in a library. It started at the Rose Memorial Library in Stony Point. And I was sitting there and just trying to decide what I wanted to do in order to build a good reputation for Rockland Web Design, which is what the business was named at that point. It's now Rockland Web. And the first thing that I studied was something called Google Analytics. And what that does is it's a chart that gives you the ability to find out what sort of visitors are coming to your website, what is their behavior when they come to the website, a lot of different data points. What sort of devices are they using, desktop or laptop, later on mobile. So it was really, I tried to do it from the perspective of what are the users searching for. Um, 12 years later, we're flipping that on its end and indicating that in order to build a good reputation, you have to gather user information and publicly share it so that people know that you are a solid and viable business. So the first step in the three-step process is to build your reputation. We'll talk about that a little bit in detail momentarily. The second is to use a formula that we've coined internally. Now, I'm sorry if we have yet another of several thousand acronyms that are out there, but we use something called the I-CARE formula. And it's basically just a way of organizing the types of posts that you're providing to your general audience via social media, your website, and/or other types of web properties. And the third is to use your website as a business tool. You can use it for messaging, creating calls to action, processing data, and so on. Let's talk a little bit further about step one, which is building your reputation. When you type in a given listing, such as the Stony Point Pancake Factory, or Halligan's Public House, or Dana Pest Control, any of those listings, when you type a search term such as the name of a business in Google, on the right-hand side of the page, you will very likely see individual reviews for that particular business. So the first thing that I recommend for your business, if you haven't done it yet, is to claim your Google business listing. The way that you do this is you go to business.google.com and request to claim your business listing. Once you claim it, you can send out links to your individual customers that hopefully you've satisfied and made happy through your products and services, and ask them to write a review. I don't recommend you ask them to write a 5-star review or to say nice things. I recommend you just ask them to write a review and let them decide what they want to write. It makes it as objective as possible. Here's a good example we have here, and we advised the Stony Point Pancake Factory about a year ago on how to do this, to hand out the link for Google reviews for the Pancake Factory, and they've successfully performed this. You see they have 96 Google reviews already. Another part of building your reputation is to post to social media daily. Now, if you're a business-to-business organization, it's possible that the best platform for this would be perhaps LinkedIn. But for the variety and large quantity of the many different businesses, organizations that are out there, Facebook, love it or hate it, is still where it's at. All right? So at very, very least, you want to post at least once or twice a day on social media. Where do you post? Well, number one, you should be posting to your own Facebook business page. And post something different each day. In this case, we have a post about Memorial Day weekend. The West Point Motel indicated, they had a nice, hopefully a humble advertisement that went out to indicate to those who sacrificed their lives for our country, thank you for protecting our nation's freedom. And we have a little logo in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, obviously, this is just one of many posts that you can put out there, but you certainly can put your social media communications and messaging around various holidays in the United States and such. We'll talk about that a little bit more in detail momentarily. Here's another example, and this is about giving good kudos and approbation. This is a friend of ours, Harry Florsheim, from Halligan's Public House located in Stony Point, New York. We recently found out that he's celebrating his first anniversary as the owner of Halligan's. So we put out a little post on a Facebook group called the North Rockland Community, which has about 17,000 people on it. And we just wanted to congratulate him on a successful first year. The post in itself got a lot of comments and a lot of likes, and each one of those likes instantly boosts this same post up to the top of the page, and allows people to continually view and further share it out. Writing blogs, and this is a great way of setting yourself up as an industry expert, which helps to build your reputation. On your own website, you can write a blog, if you have the proper tools, to be able to write posts that are related to your particular industry. Here's an example of an organization that we do social media for. It's called J&D Ultra Care, and this is a news feed, safety tips for your children, that isn't directly related to their internal mission, was to provide pediatric care via registered and licensed nursing practitioners that they help to send out to various locations. All right? So this is, again, just setting yourself up as an industry expert by providing information that's related to the industry, but not directly tied into let's say, the objective that they're looking to accomplish, which is to have registered nurses go to different locations. But it's name recognition. That is the most important thing when writing a blog, is providing valuable information and tying in your brand to that valuable information. All right, so we talked about building reputation. The second step is called using, again, we coined this, it's called the I Care formula. So let's talk about that. Typically, most of the time, the types of information that people post, besides gossip, are these 5 items: information, concern, appreciation, resources, and events. Now, information, that can come from anywhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be your own blog post. You can go directly to a news source. Do a search for information that's relevant to your particular service or product and repost it on behalf of that particular news organization. And you need to do this on a consistent basis. We personally recommend that you do this 3 to 5 times per day. And again, when you're doing this, post this first to your Facebook business page and then share it out to many, many different community groups in the area. One of them that I recommend is the North Rockland Community Facebook group. Again, 17,000 people. But make sure that it's shared from your business page. The second is to show concern. And as best as possible, you want to do this as a person, not as a business. But, from time to time, you're going to see on Facebook, LinkedIn, people are going through some tough times. So you want to provide some words of encouragement. And that's not just to market your business, quite frankly. It's just to be a good human being. But the nice thing is that it does come back in good ways over the course of time, as long as you don't expect some sort of an instant return on the efforts to make people feel better and encourage them in their times of trial. Another has to do with appreciation, and we all see it on Facebook. Give people happy birthdays, happy anniversaries, and many other different well wishes as you're celebrating the joys of their lives together. And I do recommend that you do this as a person, not necessarily as a business, but you can certainly tie in your business brand to it. Resources. Resources are links to different things that might help individuals out. It can be in the form of information, but you can also connect one person to another person as a resource. A referral is what that's called. And then finally, events. Now, events can be something more than a physical event that you're attending. If you see on the right-hand side of this panel, we have an advertisement for an upcoming boat ride in September called the Big Boat Ride. The date is pending, by the way, so don't mark down September 12th, but you can do a search for it, Big Boat Ride 2019, on Facebook and connect with the event if you have an interest in it. But it could be anything. It could be a sale on a product that you're offering, maybe a seminar that you're doing, perhaps a webinar just like this. But you want to post that, I'd say, about 20% of the time. The other 80% is spent working on these other pieces, the information, the concern, the appreciation, and the resources. So it's kind of like the 80-20 rule in reverse, in that you're giving people 80% information and things that'll be useful to them, and then the 20% is going to be the, oh, by the way, we got this great thing going on. And it's a very valuable tool. Now, going back to the information piece, I had mentioned a little while ago that a good timely indicant of when a person should post, at very least, is on major holidays. And we see on the screen several that occurred back in January, some that you may be familiar with. You have Martin Luther King Day, Civil Rights Day, National Freedom Day, one of my personal two favorites, Groundhog Day, and the other favorite is Super Bowl. Can you say Super Bowl? You might have to say the big game. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So we maintain a database with over 500 different holidays. And they're not just your standard holidays. They're holidays related to specific religions, local observances. You see on the right-hand side, we got the Excel sheet with the clock change and the daylight savings time. So there's a whole bunch of different holidays that you can plug into. If you'd like a copy of this spreadsheet, shoot me a quick message and I'll be happy to send it to you. And finally, of the 3 steps, use your website as a business tool. And this can be in the form of messaging your clients digitally, creating quality calls to action, in other words, incentivizing your customer to do something, as well as using digital forms to process people's information in a more efficient manner. Now, I won't go too deep into this because there's many web developers out there that can assist you with this endeavor. All right? But some things that you can do once you have people's attention from the I care formula and the building of reputation, when people are on your website, the ability for you to control the message that they're watching one-on-one. You provide an attractive presentation. You can gather just some basic information about your visitor. Don't go too much into detail, but like, how can we help you? Hey, phone number, email address, how would you like to connect? There might be many different ways that they want to connect. It can be connecting via Facebook Instant Messenger. They might want a text message. They might want a phone call. So you want to adjust to the needs of your potential customer. And I'm big on this, using forms to collect the basic data. And as you develop the relationship with the potential customer and that person eventually becomes a customer, then you could use the forms to collect deeper data, which you'll retain in order to help the better product or service to be delivered to the end user, your client. So we're just about done with our presentation today. Before I go, I wanted to provide an offer for you, and it's a limited time offer. I mentioned before we have our ACE Web Marketing Program. And the ACE Web Marketing Program, the whole idea is to promote your brand across the web in local community groups. Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, basically the groups that have conversations are the places where you want to develop conversations, especially if it's material that is useful to your business. So we are offering 1 free month of social media postings for your business. It is limited to the first 25 companies or businesses or startups that contact us. We will post to either your Facebook, your LinkedIn, or Instagram page 3 times a day. And it's going to be relevant content. We will go out and research 12 articles that we'll post on your behalf per week for 1 full month. That's 48 posts that go out over the course of any given month. We'll share to Facebook groups across Rockland County, and then any customers that have an interest, we'll route them back to your website or to your Facebook business page. And it does include the holiday spreadsheet that I had mentioned to you prior. So that concludes our presentation today. I hope it was useful to you. We've been doing this for almost 13 years now. And I really believe in what I do. I was just a little startup, $300 in my pocket, and just researching in a local library. And thank God it's gotten much more robust, and we've been able to help out a lot of clients across the Hudson Valley. So we hope to hear from you soon, and have a great rest of the week. Take care.